right, 3, 2. Let me know. I'm at my high school that I teach at. I'm going to take my lanyard off this time.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome into our Countdown to Tip-Off interview series. Today I'm visiting with Mark Downey, the head coach of Arkansas Tech University. And Coach, I know you've been around a little while now, but it's our first time to visit. So nice to meet you, and thanks for doing this interview with us.
Great to meet you. Thanks for having me. Just excited about the new year, excited about what can happen going forward, hopefully without much COVID interruption and with fans in the seats.
Yeah, so as I'm starting each interview, we're talking about last year just briefly. And for you, hey, it's this welcome home. It's you're coming back to Arkansas Tech. It's going to be a big year. And 2020 we thought was bad, but 2021 was kind of worse the way COVID happened. So what was it like for you last year, just trying to get settled in and figure everything out?
Last year was a tough year, just in a lot of different ways for me and my family. And we just kind of survived. We kind of survived. We got through it. And, I think that the thing that I can honestly say about last year with our program is there were about, 9 or 10 guys in our program that went through everything together last year, whether it was my personal issues, whether it was on the floor dealing with COVID, just trying to rebuild a program is hard enough. And then dealing with all the other things on top of that. The thing I'm most excited about is those 10 guys that are back, that went through those wars with me individually and went through those wars with each other. And we all developed a pretty good chemistry with each other. So that's what I'm most excited about, that one, it's over, that we can move past all that stuff. And I feel like a new person. And I feel like our program has taken a lot of steps forward, and just for that to be behind us is so exciting. For me to take that chemistry that we've built with our program and move forward, that's very exciting stuff for Arkansas Tech basketball.
Yeah, that's a great mentality about it, because a lot of schools are going to try to use that to their advantage, that they went through this together. But in your case, again, it's you're new, and then you've got guys that stuck with you. So I think that helps a little bit more. Okay, so let's talk about those returning guys, and anybody you want to mention. Let's kind of just open that up, whether it be those fifth year, maybe if you have any returning seniors, or just some guys that you're going to be counting on this year. Let's talk about those.
Yeah, I think if you start to talk about our team and the guys coming back, the one that sticks out to me so far is Tony Hall. Tony plays kind of the forward spot, both forward positions for us, and he just last year he's a great person. Trying to develop more leadership in him throughout last year, and then now going forward, and he's completely bought into what we're trying to do. He's becoming, so to speak, a Mark Downey guy. He wants to do right, and it's been great for our program. Him giving us that leadership and that example, along with Cam Kennedy that played for us last year and was having such a great year before he had to quarantine for a few weeks, and then CJ Mann coming back as well, the freshman of the year in the league. Having guys like that back, we have both our 5 men and Nico Gosnell and Kevin Thomas back. So it's those people coming back just give us. Year 1 to year 2 is always the toughest part of rebuilding a program. That's when you start to see the most, the most improvements, the chemistry, all those things start to come together a little bit more. So just having those guys back and being able to go through practice with guys like that are bought in, that want to be here, and do the right things and be an example. That's the biggest thing, to show the new guys and the young guys what we're about and how we do things, and just know the system. It's great to have guys like that back, and I'm really excited about them. Even, like I said, there's 9 or 10 guys back, but those guys are guys that played a lot for us last year. The BJ Johnson, he's an El Dorado guy, and what's great about BJ Johnson and CJ Mann, those guys are still freshmen. BJ's a third-year freshman. CJ's a freshman that won Freshman of the Year. Those guys are going to be around for a long time, and we wanted to do that. That's what we did here the first time. We really tried to build it with young guys, freshmen that came up through the program and were pillars of our program. And by the time they were third, fourth, and fifth-year guys, our program was in a really special place.
Coach, I've told other coaches, whoever came up with the term redshirt freshman, we need that person to come up with a new term for COVID, because I don't know how to classify anybody anymore.
No,
But it's just nice to have the guys around again, I know. Let's talk about today's October 19th. This is going to air on October 20th. So we're just a couple days into that window where full-on practices have started up. And you have guys that are back, you have guys that are excited, but how is that meshing in practice so far, just a couple of days in?
you know, as much as I can remember, I really enjoy going to practice as much as any time I've ever been coaching or been a head coach. These guys are really fun to coach. I think the newcomers that we brought are the same type of people that we returned. Just guys that are bought in, guys. I think we've done a pretty good job of bringing the right people in. And, we're top heavy and we're bottom heavy. We have 5 seniors, and then we have a bunch of freshmen and just a few guys in between that will play a lot and help us. So, but again, a lot of those freshmen are experienced.
Yeah.
Transferred back from Tennessee Tech. He's a Russellville native that is excited to be back and just an electrifying player. Czar Perry is a graduate transfer, but he's from El Dorado and has been playing at Cal State Bakersfield for a couple of years. So, Trey Allen is a freshman for us that played here at Russellville, and his dad played for me when I was here the first time. So I have grand players now. That's a first for me.
Yeah.
But
you don't look that old.
Yeah, no, I'm not. And Renard was 27 when he played for me the first time. So there is a caveat to that a little bit. But anyway, yeah, we're meshing great. The guys that we brought in are just, they haven't skipped a beat. And that's a credit to the guys that have come back. Those guys have just made it easy on them. They're trying to help them get through the transition. And like I said, it's really enjoyable to go to practice every day. It's not always like that. This is the 6th time that I've taken over a new program. So believe me, it's not always like that to love to go to practice. But I enjoy being around these guys. And I don't know if that's going to lead to a lot of wins or not. But it is definitely a lot of fun to show up every day and coach these guys.
Let me ask you this, Coach. It's not a question I ask every year to coaches, but for someone like you, our first visit, your second year with the team, how much stock do you put in the preseason rankings? 6, your pick 6. Do you mention that at all? Does it come up in your discussions with your team?
Yeah, I'm the type of guy that's always kind of used things like that or bulletin board material, so to speak, as a chip on my shoulder and maybe a chip on our guys' shoulder. Some people might say 6 is high for us. Some people might say 6 is low for us. I don't know. But, you're going to use it. I don't know if there were many games that we weren't in last year. We were 7-11, but we were pretty competitive, and I like our team. I like who we have back, and I like what we've added. So I don't know. Like I said, does that mean we win more games and finish higher than 6? I don't know. But I think a lot of coaches are looking at rosters and guessing.
Yeah.
And just saying, hey, that's a good player, that's a good addition. We'll put him here, we'll put him here. I think there are definitely some teams in our league that probably feel slighted a little bit, that probably got picked a little bit lower. I also think it's a weird year for it because we didn't see many of the Oklahoma schools. Especially when they're picking Arkansas schools and we're picking Oklahoma schools. It's look at the roster and guess, and look at last year's record and guess. So this year, maybe more than ever, those rankings probably don't mean as much.
And Coach, like you said, that's been a recurring theme from a lot of people, just not playing the normal schedule that we're used to. And so that's going to be new for some players this year, even that didn't get to travel. But let's talk about your non-conference schedule. I know Fort Hays State is who you're going to start off with in Kansas. And you got some tough non-conference games before you dive into conference play. Can you talk about that a little bit?
No doubt. It's a gauntlet. I'd like maybe say what was I thinking, but I did inherit some of this schedule. So
yeah,
2 years ago, we honored all the contracts that we had. So going to Fort Hays and playing in the conference challenge. I guess I didn't get enough of the MIAA when I was at Northeastern State. Yeah. But we play Fort Hays, who will be very, very good right out of the gate. And I've never won there. And, our game is sitting right behind one of their football games. So I'm sure that about 5,000 people will roll into that building. I know they've led Division II in attendance for the last 7 or 8 years. So that's a hard place to play, and there'll be a lot of people there to watch us play. So a very challenging start, and then you turn around and play Emporia State the next day on short rest, and they're very, they'll be well coached, and they look like they have got a talented roster as well. But I am familiar with both coaching styles, and they're familiar with me. So, scouts will be a little bit easier for both of us. But, then we turn around and stay in the MIAA and come home and play Missouri Southern, who has been nationally ranked pretty much every week for the last 5 years. We do get them on our home floor, if that means anything. And then we for Thanksgiving, we stroll out to Angelo State, who's always loaded, and Coach Boone does a good job out there, and I'm sure they'll have a great crowd. And then play Texas A&M Kingsville, who's probably mad because they went 17-4 last year and didn't make the NCAA tournament in our region, our COVID region from last year. Yeah, 5 teams all be very, very good. And if we're not ready to go, we could have a really rough non-conference schedule with there that we have to go against. So we've got to get ready. We've got to get ready from the jump. We'll be thrown to the wolves right away. We've got a good scrimmage schedule, so that'll help us as well. And hopefully we'll get off to a good start and be able to survive that first half.
Yeah, certainly get you battle tested for conference play on December 2nd. So, Coach, I appreciate the time, and best of luck to Arkansas Tech this year. Thanks for visiting with us.
Hey, thanks so much. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a fun year.